you know what? Some of the people listening to this podcast might not have believed that we would be doing this here today.
This is true. This is true.
We had some rough patches.
Well, don't all long-term friendships.
Yeah. Exactly.
You make them through eventually.
7 years.
Going on 8.
Going on 8 years. I feel like I've been saying 7 years for like 3
I was
years.
like, I'm 98% sure we're on 8. I'm not going to do the math, but
8 years. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Husker. I hardly know her. Again, I'm Avryn.
And I'm Gabby.
And today we're going to be talking all about building a community in college. Coming into college can be a socially daunting process, especially us like being out-of-state students. We like barely knew anybody coming in here. And I know a lot of people are in that same boat. So I think it'd be good to talk about kind of how you make friends in college, how to meet new people, because we've had a lot of experience with that. And I feel like we've gotten to a pretty good place, built a solid group of friends and a lot of good connections. So let's start off first by saying like what we're involved in. I think the biggest, most obvious one is we're both in the drum line.
We are.
In the marching band. So that is pretty fun. Gabby, you graduated before me. You came here before me. Do you want to talk a little bit about what it was like coming in to college and like auditioning for drumline and then starting your freshman year off that way?
So when I came in, I had come to the auditions it was back in the beginning-ish of May of my senior year, back in 21.
Yeah, 2021.
And I remember like gearing up. Obviously, I was like preparing for the audition and all that because the audition was important to me and I wanted to get things going. But I had not even thought about the social side of things until I got there because I was like, oh yeah, everyone's going to be auditioning. No one's going to know each other. Like it's just going to be unfamiliar. And then I forgot that like everyone had already been on the line would be friends. Right. And then like people who were all from the Lincoln area or like from around here probably already knew each other.
So many Omaha kids.
So many Omaha kids.
Yeah.
You know who you are. Anyways, but I'm kidding. It was one of those moments where I was like, oh man. And thankfully like I'm a pretty extroverted being. So like meeting a bunch of the people and talking to them was not a problem for me, but it was definitely like, I remember walking into the room and I was like, I know not a single soul here. Unfamiliar with a single soul.
Yeah.
And that's terrifying. Even for an extrovert, that is terrifying. Especially because you immediately start thinking about all the first impressions and like you don't want anything to go wrong. And so like I had all this pressure on me that first day and everyone was so friendly. It was great. Both weekends were a good experience, but especially that second week when you come back, you know, people recognize you and you start to like get a little more settled in. But then like we went the entire summer without seeing anyone else. Like
that's true.
You audition in May. You don't see anyone? Well, especially being out of state, like we're a state away.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And then you come back from band camp in the fall when like a week and a half before school starts. And like I talked to a few people in between there, but it was very sparse and, you know, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, but I was really grateful for the opportunity to make it and build that immediately because then, you know, come band camp, we start a week and a half before school starts.
Mm-hmm.
And it was immediately a moment to like, you spend over 12 hours with the same people every day for a week and a half, which can be some people's nightmare, some people's dream. You choose. I know for me, it was a great moment to like find some new friends and new people that really made me feel like I was building a new home here, especially away from home. Like these were all, like I didn't know anyone from high school that came. And so this was an entirely moment of building an entirely new world for me. And that is an experience that I could not trade. And it continues to build. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm the same way. Because I also auditioned, but the difference between me coming in and then you coming in is that I knew you here already. So
plus I had talked about most of the people you ended up meeting. So
yeah, I knew a lot of characters before I came in and I was like putting faces to names. But it was really fun coming in, just like meeting so many new people. I'm a little bit more introverted than you, so it definitely helped me having you there, just because I knew there was somebody there that could like help me feel comfortable, but I could still go off on my own. Yeah, so it was like different groups of people, but I was being my best extroverted self that day, just coming in with an open mind, ready to make new friends. It helps coming into college with that community, because by the time everybody else moves in, we were already, like, we had a group of friends ready to go. And you knew that there would always be people you could hang out with, even if you, like, didn't know anybody in your classes yet or anything like that. But, yeah, I'm also so thankful for drumline friends. I feel like we've both made friends who are going to last literally forever. But another hard thing about coming into college is once those classes start, you're in classes with a bunch of people you don't know. So you have to make class friends. Class friends?
You. I'm kidding. Tell my mu ed majors that watch this. I'm kidding, I swear.
I love my class friends. But like, it's low-key really scary when classes start, because at least for me, because I came in undecided, so I was in a lot of just like the gen ed classes. I was in like 3 lecture classes, so I walk in and there's like 200 300 seats in this room, and I don't know any of the people. so I would just sit down, and I basically decided, I was like, okay, I'm gonna come in with an open mind. Every single person here is on the same level. Like, we're all starting from square one coming into freshman year. So I was like, you know what? No one's going to judge me if I say hi to them. That's like the best thing you can do, is just kind of take initiative and say hi to people, because you could end up making a really good friend that lasts through your whole college career. So, yeah.
Yeah, I kind of forgot we had very different experiences with this.
I know.
So in my major, there's only about, even coming in, anywhere from like 30 to 40 people in my major.
Yeah, a lot different than what I experienced my freshman year.
And like all of us are in the same building all day, so you get to know people very quickly. And I even remember, like, there's a class we have to take our freshman year, Music 160 for all my friends who know, ADP, if you will. But walking into the, like, well, you know, when like this giant lecture hall in
right.
in Westbrook. It's 119's beautiful little layout. It's basically just a little mini theater kind of looking room.
True.
But from like the 70s.
It's so old.
It's so old, that poor little building. But I remember walking in and I was like, oh God. Like, because there weren't that many people, but there were enough to the point where I was like, I don't know anyone in here.
Yeah.
And I had like recognized one person from band, because I mean there was a few people in band that were music majors, but I didn't get to know them very well. But I found one of them and I was like, I'm just gonna go sit by her and we're gonna pretend like everything's okay and we're gonna make friends. And I did. So
Yay.
like we sat next to each other and both of us were out of state students, so like the two of us were like, so do you know anyone here? And we were like, no. Do you? Nope. And we were like, great, we will be friends and we will be sitting next to each other in every class we have all day.
Perfect.
And we did. And so like immediately, like finding almost like, I don't want to call it trauma bonding because it's not much of a trauma, like finding new people is not trauma, but like this fear bonding.
Yeah, you're both scared.
Like you're both like, okay, well this is terrifying, but we're just gonna go through it together and be fine. And you just gotta go for it.
Yeah. I know I mentioned this in the last episode too, but one of my friends that I made in a class, literally, like, I credit my whole major to her, like, deciding my major, because we just sat next to each other in a math class and suddenly we decided to be friends, and then she helped me decide what my major was. And so yeah, you never know what's gonna happen with your class friends. But yeah, your experience is definitely a lot different than mine.
I will say, I made a lot of my class friends via my major just because we were together all day, every day.
Yeah.
But I was in one lecture for a gen ed, and that was a meteorology class. And going to my first mass lecture as a not typical mass lecture student was terrifying.
I bet.
But that is one class I never made a class friend in. Even in my 3-hour lab that I had once a week, I don't think I ever sat next to the same person every week. Like, it was kind of terrifying. But I almost want to reinforce it's also okay to not make a class friend.
Oh, yeah.
Like, as long as you have friends outside of class, or as long as you're making some friends.
Yeah.
But, like, it's okay to also go to a class and not have a class friend. Like,
True.
that was my one time to, like, zone out, learn when I wanted to / when I could
Yeah.
instead of just texting you all day.
That's so fair. Oh my gosh, I
would-
forgot. You texted me so much during that class.
It was during the lecture.
Yeah. Well, I remember it was my senior year of high school, and I had choir at the same time you had meteorology. And I would turn on my phone after choir, and it would be like, Gabrielle Brady sent you 99 text messages.
Every thought that went through my brain went into that text message onto her phone.
It was so funny.
I was still engaged, but because we had to do like these freaking, what are those called? Something hat.
What?
Top hat.
Oh.
Did you ever have to do
yes.
top hat? Okay.
Top
I
hat.
was
Oh
like,
my gosh.
it's something hat. Top hat questions. We
So
had to do
dumb.
those throughout the lecture. And so it was like you had to pay attention. So I couldn't completely like just be dozed off or play a game.
Yeah.
Or like do something completely different. I still had to be kind of engaged, but also like my mind rambles.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Well,
I
of
need
course.
someone to talk to. So it was like every single thought went into my fingers, typed, and sent.
Yeah. And I enjoyed it.
You got my entire dialogue for an hour and a half of my life.
I just remember specifically there being a notification that there was 99 messages from you, and the last one is, I forgot that the Emoji Movie existed.
It's such a wild movie. I did. And I
Yeah.
still do to this day most days.
I forgot about that one too.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we should watch it sometime. It'd be a fever dream.
Yep.
On the same wavelength.
I had one more thing about the lecture, and although I didn't make class friends in that lecture, one thing you do make is like when those top hat questions come up, suddenly the people next to you become very chatty to figure out what the heck the answers are.
Yeah.
And all of us are looking like, do you think it's C too? Yeah, I think it's C. What are you also marking? Yeah, okay, great. And like suddenly we're all chatting, but that is the only time I think I talked to people in that class was for those questions and then nothing else.
That's so fair. Sometimes you don't have to make friends, you can just make allies.
Yeah. Make class allies.
For
you
real.
don't have to make class friends, but please make class allies.
Because there are some classes where you're just going because you have to go to that class and you don't have to like it and you don't have to talk to the people around you. Again, as long as you're making friends elsewhere, you're good.
With a campus like ours, we are very activity and club rich in nature. Like there are so many things you can be involved in on campus, which is wonderful because like we got a very good opportunity. We were in band, so we had a band opportunity.
Right.
But I also know people who, because like we're an audition group, not everyone's gonna make it in. But I know people who even just went through the audition process and knowing faces, even if they didn't get in, it helped them in the end. Like, because they were able to find some people they recognized on campus.
Yeah.
Other than that, like, we have so many good opportunities for people to get involved.
True. I feel like on every tour, and I'm a tour guide, so I'm part of this too, but like...
Am I gonna think you mentioned that? You're like on every tour?
Oh, I am a tour guide. Yep. For those who don't know.
There's something you're involved in.
Yeah.
You're a tour guide.
True, exactly. Made a lot of good friends through that too. One of the things that people always hear on their tours is that like we have this many clubs, we recommend that you get involved in this many, but I feel like people don't like take the initiative to see what opportunities are available to them, or also it can be kind of scary to like just join a group out of nowhere, not knowing what it is or
That's
like
fair.
who you're going to be there with. But clubs are seriously such a good way to like grow closer to people, whether they're related to your major or just for fun. We have so many fun random clubs.
The squirrel watching club. That's my favorite one to bring up all the time to people who don't go here.
Dude, people talk about the squirrel watching club all the time.
I don't know anyone in it, but
Me
I do
neither.
know.
I was like
I don't
convinced
know
it wasn't
a single
real.
soul in it, but I do know that it is a thing, and I love that it is a thing.
Yep. I like thought it wasn't real coming in here because I was like, wait, and is anybody actually involved? Yeah, they have an Instagram
And a Twitter, I think. Sorry, not a Twitter.
Oh,
They have an X account?
oh, sorry, X.
Not Twitter.
It's Twitter, okay? Get over it.
I still call it Twitter.
Yep.
It's been how many years since it's been renamed and rebranded, but I forever call it Twitter.
As you should, because that's what it is. But yeah, we're also involved in percussion club.
This is true.
But part of that is like we have a steel pan ensemble where literally anybody on campus can join and just learn how to play steel pan, and it's fun. You just go, like, you get to hang out with friends and play a fun instrument. There are also lots of student organizations through majors too, like national organizations you can get involved in, which is honestly good as a resume builder and also to make good connections within your college, because those can be super valuable to you. They can help you get a job in the future. They can help you with homework if you're taking a class. Like, it's just good to know people in general.
I'd say on the note of us being in percussion club, like, you can also start your own club.
True.
Like, get some people together who all have the same interest and start one up. It's not hard. Yeah, you have to make a few documents and have a few people. I think it's only like 5 or 6 people. But, like, form a club if you want to start and find people that were interested. I mean, I know we started percussion club because we were like, we had heard of some other universities having it and how it benefited their, like, music program. But we were like, there's a lot of kids who do that kind of stuff in high school but don't necessarily want to do band in college, but still want to be involved in some way.
Yeah.
So we're like, why not make a club that does that?
It's a good way to continue the hobby, like if people just want to do it for fun. Yeah, I know we have, I think at Nebraska we have like Mario Kart and Smash clubs, things like that, where people get together and play.
I know that the Super Smash Club is huge. I used to know someone in it.
Really?
And they were heavily involved. Like, they were like, this is my favorite thing on campus. And I was like, I love that for you. I really do.
Yeah, it's so fun.
I'm like, why not play games? That's so cute.
I know a couple of people who are involved in like karaoke for a cause, where they just go and do karaoke, and they it's like for benefits and stuff. They do fundraisers and things like that. So we should go sometime.
We should.
It'd be fun.
I can't speak too much on being involved from like a campus sense, only because like I'm involved, but only in musical activities. Only just because the music school demands so much. But like, there's still ways I've managed to kind of branch out and get involved in a little bit of ways. You know, it's like we have in the music school we have NAFME, which is our like National Association for Music Educators, but we have like a collegiate chapter. So that's a way for us to like go to a convention every year and meet current educators and get connections and learn new stuff about our job. And like, getting that now is great.
It's good.
And I know like the business school has one where it's like the Nebraska Business Honor Society, or maybe it's not that.
Just like a national organization.
They have a national organization. And it's like those kind of things can help build your resume, like you were saying, and getting those connections. I'm involved in that, but I'm also involved in Kappa Kappa Psi, which is like technically a fraternity.
No, it is.
It is a fraternity, but co-ed.
Right.
But like it's a band fraternity, so it's music related. But
yeah,
I think we're only like 40% music majors.
Yeah, well, the school has a lot of academic fraternities too. Like like Kappa Kappa Psi is one of them, and that's a national organization that goes way back. My grandpa was part of Kappa Kappa Psi. He's your brother.
He's my brother.
That's so cute.
That's so sweet.
But yeah, I know the College of Business also has a co-ed fraternity, and that helps you build the connections and stuff like that. So that's definitely a good thing to get involved in too.
And some other people.
Yeah.
Because that's always nice.
Yeah, and I don't think you have to be a business major, just like you don't have to be a music major to join those fraternities. So that's kind of cool. It's
good connections, good other people to hang out with.
Yeah. And even if you are like super busy, like you're in way too many credit hours.
Well, not this semester. This semester's been the lowest yet.
Yay.
But I have been over 20 until now.
Yeah.
Every semester. So
busy. Yeah. Even if you're busy, it's still good to like reach out and make friends, because it makes it a whole lot easier if you're connected with people and if you have people to like help you out with projects, homework, just to vent about your classes. If you ever need anything.
Don't take group projects for granted.
Oh, true. There are some people who I've worked on group projects with that I still talk to, and I still say hi to them every day. And it's nice when you have like group chats for group projects.
Also just like class group chats in general.
Yeah, it's so random.
I guess I don't know if that's a common thing.
But yeah, it's so fun just having so many numbers in your phone.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, wow, now I have so many people I could reach out to if I wanted to.
So many contacts.
Yeah, it's kind of awesome.
I forgot that whole class group chats would not be a common thing.
I guess you have a whole class,
We have
like
a
your major.
Well, we have a majority class group chat, but like that can be very helpful when we are all very confused on something.
That's so fair.
But I kind of forget that that's just a very niche opportunity that I get. It's also getting out like everyone in your group projects, but be civil.
True.
I know in my major, and I'll say it because I know other people would say it, I don't love everyone in my major. They are not all my best friends.
True.
But we're all going to be we're all going to be connections for each other in the future. So I'm not going to like try to ruin ties on purpose.
Oh, true.
You know,
exactly.
it's like,
you're all working towards a common goal. You all kind of mostly want around the same things. You want to be successful.
Yep. And so it's like there's still value in I appreciate you as a human being and I appreciate what you do and I will be civil and I'll contact you if I need to in the future, but I'm not going to be your best friend and that's okay.
Yep.
Know your boundaries.
True.
Create boundaries.
Create boundaries and enforce them.
That can be in a different episode. That's too deep of a topic.
True. That's fair. That brings me to another point. College is great because you can choose who you surround yourself with. And so if there's like, always choose people that are making you feel like yourself. Because if there's somebody who isn't making you feel good or isn't making you feel like yourself, you can drop them.
Don't take the time to devote to them if they're not gonna, I don't want to use the word benefit you, but
I mean, yeah,
if they're harming you more than helping you, maybe contemplate if that's a person you want around.
True. Yeah.
You got to have healthy friends to make it through a healthy experience in college.
Exactly. You have to have people who will support you because you're all going through the same transition and it's hard. And so you're going to want people like in your corner because it can get hard. But yeah, it's nice because, I mean, obviously it's different for you because you do see a lot of the same people every day. And like at this point, I do too because I'm in the same building for a lot of my classes. But even like if there's somebody in an activity or in your classes that you're like, I don't really think that being friends with you is a great idea for me, you don't have to continue that.
You can keep friendly conversation without being their friend.
So true. If I know one thing. You know what? Some of the people listening to this podcast might not have believed that we would be doing this here today.
This is true. This is true.
We had some rough patches.
Well, don't all long-term friendships.
Yeah. Exactly.
You make them through them eventually.
7 years.
Going on 8.
Going on 8 years. I feel like I've been saying 7 years for like 3
I was
years.
like, I'm 98% sure we're on 8. I'm not going to do the math, but
8 years.
Yes. It's a journey.
It is. Oh, actually, I do want to bring this up really quick.
Okay.
I know, especially my freshman year, I like went through a hard time of isolating myself, especially second semester of freshman year. I would just spend so much time in my dorm room, just not going out, not hanging out with anybody. And that made it really, really hard to like feel okay. Especially being somewhere where you're not close to your family. You really do have to like take initiative to make friends and hang out with them. But I really stopped doing that for a period of time, especially my freshman year, and that was really hard. So I've definitely had to get better about that and like reaching out to people and being like, hey, do you want to just hang out sometime or like spend some time together, or even just invite people to sit with you somewhere and do homework. It truly makes a world of a difference. Just having people around you. And obviously that's not the case for everybody. Some people like to be like a little bit more isolated, a little bit more by themselves, but
not all the time.
No, it's not good for you to do that all the time. Trust me. But yeah, and I know that we have a little lunch group that we get lunch every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. It's like a scheduled time.
I'd say I'm like fine. And I was going to actually bounce off that with that exact same thing. Because I was going to say like with the spontaneously asking people, even just try to find something you can schedule.
Yeah.
Like, not in a forceful way, but in a way that, like, you know you're going to have that time to hang out with them all that time, which is exactly where our 1:30 group comes in.
Yes, 1:30. Shout out to 1:30.
Shout out 1:30. We love you. They're
yeah.
1:30ing without us right now.
They are. It's 1:30 here, but
Rude. Just kidding. No, it's our fault.
They should have
literally
come
our
here
fault.
at 1:30. It is our fault. Oh, it's okay. We just decided we wanted to start a podcast, and that's
Whatever.
super inconvenient for our lunchtime.
We'll have a 1:30 episode sometime, and it's just all of us.
That would be so chaotic.
Chaotic and probably need to be cut down beyond belief.
Oh my gosh. But it would be the funniest thing you've ever heard in your life.
Oh, anyways.
Yeah, no, definitely carving out time to hang out with people is a must, because especially if you're busy, you will not be okay if you don't see people. Yeah, so definitely carving out time to hang out with people and be around people you enjoy, where you can just kind of relax,
Be yourself.
put everything else off to the side, be yourself, laugh.
Find people you can be yourself around.
Be yourself.
That's, I think, what I valued so much out of the 1:30 group that emerged over the past 2 years is, like, I, as a very busy being, like, I needed time away from the music building.
Yeah.
And, like, a meal was a perfect time to do that. Because it was, like, I would feel guilty taking breaks during the day because I'm like, I should be practicing or I should be doing homework or something like that. But, like, having a moment where it's like, well, I need to eat anyways because I'm not going to function if I don't eat. So might as well make my eat time a hangout time and get 2 knocked out in one time.
Yeah,
like,
it's perfect.
And so, like, eating my lunch every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Every Wednesday and Friday at this rate.
True.
With my friends is just so beautiful. And I'm going to be really sad when that ends. But,
Hey,
like,
it's okay.
it's a great experience to have while it's here, and has really made, like, a very close-knit group of people that, like, I know I can rely on.
Yeah. Shout out 1:30.
Shout out 1:30. In conclusion, and find people that you want to be around, that you can be yourself around. Find activities that you can be in those activities, join clubs, join groups, find some class friends, at least a few, honor those group projects, take time to get to know the people around you, don't isolate yourself.
True.
Simple as that. Anyways, we'll see you for the next episode.
Yes.
Episode 3. I had to do some thinking there. We've only done 2. But anyways, please subscribe to us on YouTube. Follow us on Spotify.
Yeah. And Apple Podcasts.
And
We're on Apple Podcasts now.
I forgot about that.
Exciting.
Smash that like button. Smash it.
Subscribe.
Smash it.
Follow us on Instagram.
Oh yeah, Instagram too.
You all know what to
Follow
do.
us on all the socials and do what you need to do. You understand the
True.
assignment by now. Anyways.
We love you. Bye.